This is exclusive updates. And so disturbing reports came out about Tamar Braxton, who was Tony Braxton's younger sister. Tamar Braxton's in her 40s. And so reports came out that she woke up in a pool of blood. They said her face was busted and bruised up. Teeth were missing. Teeth were chipped. And she was in bad shape. Woke up, didn't know what had happened. So I first heard these reports being reported and looked a little bit into it. And it looks like she left this report in a social media post. Not a social media post with her face or anything, just kind of wrote it down and got the message out there and asking for like prayers or something, I guess, most likely. But then just the other day, there was more information that came out about what might have happened to her. So it looks like a doctor had confirmed her injuries and discovered that she suffered from a case of sleepwalking.
My name is Dr. Amira Ogunleya, and I am a cosmetic dentist out of Miami, Florida. I was recently contacted by Tamar Braxton's team, who reported a very traumatic injury. She woke up in a pool full of blood, saw many fractured teeth on her floor. She flew to me immediately within 24 hours. Upon evaluation, I confirmed that she did in fact have several fractured teeth. She even had an avulsed tooth, which is a tooth that's come completely out of the socket. She also appeared to have a fractured septum. We were able to perform immediate oral surgery on her, and we were able to stabilize her for now as she continues to heal. As far as the cause, the medical team ruled out seizure, ruled out stroke, and the only thing left that it could possibly be is somnambulism, which is sleepwalking.
And so I've done several reports on dreams and sleepwalking and sleep paralysis and stuff like that. I've also went into like mental conditions like schizophrenia and stuff like that. And I've linked a lot of these things to possible demonic possession. Now, not all the time, but sometimes. I would roughly guess maybe about half of the cases could be connected to demonic activity when you're dealing with this type of stuff. So, I mean, is it possible that Tamar Braxton suffered from a case of demonic possession where maybe her body was taken over while she was asleep? And so whatever happened, I mean, it looks like it could have been natural, because, I mean, I could see it be impossible that someone could be sleepwalking and run into stuff and maybe fall down the stairs or something, because they're out of it, you know, they're not conscious, but they're walking around. So you could see something like that happen. Or was it intentional where maybe she was demonically possessed and whatever got into her wanted to possibly harm her, you know? So, I mean, when it comes to like sleep paralysis, that's a very disturbing experience. We've covered this in my videos. And also like nightmares. Even having nightmares is something that's pretty disturbing, and let alone sleep paralysis and now sleepwalking. Is this all connected? I mean, what could have happened to her? Did she take a deal? The thing is, Tamar Braxton's career never took off more than Tony Braxton's career. So her older sister, Tony Braxton, she had a pretty good career. I mean, she was pretty popular in her time. I think it was like the 90s and into the 2000s, the early 2000s. I think she continued her career. And to this day, she's still doing shows and stuff. So, I mean, I would say she's the more popular sister out of, I think there's three of them. And they also had I believe they had a TV show as well called The Braxtons with Tamar Braxton, Tony Braxton. I don't know the other sisters. So, but you know, to me, it's pretty clear that Tony Braxton was the most popular of them all. She was the star. So if anyone took a deal, I would have guessed she did. But, you know, maybe when someone takes a deal, it could affect your family members as well. Because, I mean, with Tamar Braxton, we saw that she was definitely on TV if they had a show. And she's definitely still doing shows. She's still putting out music. So she has a pretty, I would say, a little bit, she's definitely a few notches below Tony Braxton in popularity. I don't know what to compare her career to, but she definitely doesn't have any hit songs. That's the thing. So how are you taking a deal and you don't have any hit songs? You would think if you took a deal, you would probably have a hit song. But I'm linking taking a deal to, you know, that's when people could possibly get opened up to these types of things where they could become demonically possessed and stuff at times, especially if you don't follow the instructions, because I think a lot of times you're supposed to like cooperate and maybe take out a loved one or something and make some sacrifices. So if maybe Tamar Braxton didn't do these things, maybe she didn't, make that sacrifice or something, and maybe that's why that happened to her. But, if she took a deal, she definitely got a pretty crappy deal, because I don't see that she has any real hit songs or anything. I don't see her in any movies or anything like that. So maybe I don't know what happened to her to where this would have happened to her. But, I mean, it could have been natural. It could have been demonically influenced. Let me know what you think in the comment section, because, I mean, it could have been either way at this point. I would possibly lean more towards this being connected to the industry, though, with the music industry and her being on TV and stuff, because what's the chance of such a bizarre story like this coming out to a person that's involved with the industry in any type of way? This is a story that is very you don't hear much like this going on, where someone was sleepwalking. I mean, for that to have had happened to her, I mean, there's definitely different ways you could become possessed, because I've done reports. Check out my videos. I'll leave a link where maybe you can get caught up on some other videos where I cover this type of stuff, because, I mean, there's some substances out here that can possibly get you possessed. I just did a report on that a few weeks ago about this substance they're calling the dream molecule or whatever. People have taken it, and there's been reports that they interact with beings in that realm, and then some people said they even felt different when they came back to, like something followed them back or went into them while they are in that state of mind. And then when it wears off, when the substance wears off, they still feel that presence of something dealing with them. Plus, when it comes to sleep paralysis, it's a very strange thing. I mean, that's definitely very disturbing and strange. So sleepwalking, sleep paralysis, schizophrenia, all that seems like it could be connected to demonic possession, at least some of the times. And if you check out some of my videos, you'll see that there's been reports with a doctor who actually dealt with these patients in a mental asylum, and he said he just observed some very strange things with dealing with these patients, and he saw a lot of supernatural activity that was unexplainable when he dealt with some of these patients. So there's definitely something to this stuff when it comes to schizophrenia. I mean, they're talking to invisible people. If you want to see a movie that's kind of connected to this schizophrenia being connected to demonic possession, watch a movie called Daniel Is Not Real. And in that movie, I think it's on Tubi. You can watch it. And, he was dealing with an invisible friend. And with this invisible friend, as he grew up, this invisible friend was influencing him to do a lot of strange things. The invisible friend wanted him to harm people and harm himself. And at first it was helping him, though. First it was being very helpful and telling him things he had no knowledge of. He was helping him and assisting him in life. But eventually he wanted to, he said, let me take over your body. And nobody else could see him. So he took over his body and did some very disturbing things. He was harming people. He was very aggressive. And people thought it was just an invisible friend. But it turns out, as he did more research, this Daniel, which was his invisible friend, well, he found a very disturbing incident with somebody, and he went to their house and said, okay, what happened to this person? Because he found some connections. And the dad said, well, what happened to his son? And he said, did he have an invisible friend? And he said, yes. It turns out that this person that did something very horrible things to people had an invisible friend as well. And this invisible friend, his name was Daniel as well. And he said, can I look at any of, do you have any more things, anything else to tell me? He looked at some pictures and stuff and saw disturbing pictures, and he saw that was the same invisible friend that befriended him. So it wasn't just something in his head. It was something that was actually lurking lurking around and dealing with people. And he's done this before to others. And it wasn't just his personal invisible friend. This invisible friend was actually an invisible friend that was dealing with other people, and it was an entity, not an invisible friend. So the doctors, they said it was schizophrenia, because they thought he was just talking to himself. So, plus his mom had an issue with stuff like that. So yeah, it can be passed down from generation to generation, or deal with family members. To me, that sounds like it's dealing with bloodline. So when it comes to that, we see with Tony Braxton, if Tony Braxton took a deal, now we see that these things, if there's any clues to be had from that Daniel Is Not Real movie, we're seeing that it deals with bloodlines. Plus, I've looked into this subject in other areas with research, and so Tony Braxton's, Tony Braxton might have took a deal, and that might have affected Tamar Braxton to where now Tamar Braxton is experiencing this stuff, maybe due to a deal or a ritual that Tony Braxton partook in, plus their sisters. So you're dealing with bloodlines here, and then maybe this thing's trying to take her out. You never know. Maybe Tony refused to take out one of her loved ones. Like I told you in other videos, a lot of these situations shows that a lot of times they want you to be alone and to take out a loved one a lot of times. And sometimes they want you to be single, and so they want a lot of alone time. The spirit world wants you to be alone and lonely, and it looks like they want you to take out a loved one. So maybe this thing was trying to take out Tamar Braxton because she's her sister. And maybe that was supposed to be a sacrifice. Maybe that's why she doesn't have any hit songs, is because she didn't have to take a deal or be part of this thing with any oaths or any rituals. Maybe Tamar didn't have to even do that. Maybe she's being affected due to Tony Braxton possibly doing this stuff, and now it's affecting her. Or they all three could have been involved in maybe rituals. Who knows? But whatever it is, it's a very disturbing and very strange story that she went through this. And like I said, is there any evidence that she had any sleepwalking issues before? Because she's in her 40s now. So how could something like this just pop up like that? Unless, like I said, it could be due to substance abuse. Could open you up to that sometimes, depending on what substance you're taking. But this sounds suspicious, like it could be connected to demonic possession, in my opinion. So let me know what you think in the comment section about all this that we covered about Tamar Braxton. And, I'll update you as any more information becomes available. Make sure you stay tuned. Let's get over 100 likes on this video. Also, follow me on social media and all that. If you'd like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep this channel online. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Exclusive Updates, signing off.